Welcome, everybody, to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show featuring Dr. Carolyn Dean. Join Dr. Dean for the next 2 hours along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty. Join Dr. Dean as she shares with us her vast range of experience, knowledge, talent, and wisdom. Phone lines are now open, and we'll be taking your calls from around the world and here in the USA.
Okay, very good. Well, welcome everybody. We had a few technical difficulties, as is wont to happen during these fun times on the planet between the COVID and the hurricanes and the astral flares and the all the things, all the things that are happening. It's a wonder we can even keep our computers running, but we're grateful that we do. And tonight, we're so thankful for Dr. Carolyn Dean and the work that she's done for many, many years, has created an extraordinary presentation for women called the Total Body Reset for Women. And this show is dedicated to her work and to introducing this incredible topic and this book that she wrote and the webinar that she's doing this week. So you have time to invite your friends and family members to join us in our webinar, to read the book, and to join us in the celebration of women, women's health, and also how to restore our correct relationship with nature. Welcome, Carolyn.
Thank you, Jenny. Wonderful. Yes, the book, I wrote a hormone book, Hormone Balance. I guess it was back in 2005, and I think what happened is after I wrote that book, I mean, women do have various issues, throughout their lives, but I think with chronic fatigue and then the adrenal exhaustion and hypothyroidism and all these specifics, I just started saying people were going through total body meltdown. And it did seem that the issues that women were having with their hormones, it was all just wrapped up all together. It didn't no longer did it have a focus. And even so, if a woman goes to an allopathic medical doctor, they really don't know what to do with a hormone imbalance. So for all these reasons, I got back to my hormone balance book, decided to update it, because certainly when I wrote a book for a publishing company, I couldn't put products in it. And back in 2005, I did not have products. And I tell a story that by 2008, everybody was in such a panic. The stock market crashed in 2008. So people just began to say to me, just tell me what to do, give me a product. And then I looked around and couldn't find really safe or effective products. And then eventually putting together the products with these books, with this information, it just became easier and easier to help people with the structure and function of their bodies, because we're working at the cellular level. And that's why our products kind of have the same protocols. We put the protocol not to the disease condition, but we put our protocols to the cellular condition. And what we do with our different webinars is just tell people how we apply our products to the cellular conditions, make people comfortable with what we're doing in terms of, how women cycle with nature, for example. You'll hear about that on our Thursday webinar. We cycle with nature, but we get totally distracted when male doctors took over medicine. and women who are used to be cycling with nature and in charge of so much began to give control of their bodies over to doctors. But we're definitely taking that back. So that's just a brief intro. We have a lot to do on the show today, so I'll go back to you, Ginny. I'm not even going to do our normal housekeeping list because we have so many people lined up that we want to talk to. Okay?
Absolutely. Very good, Carolyn. Yes, we have a great panel with us today. And for those of you who are on the line and on our panel, including Sarah, Emily, and Sharon, if you could just hit *9 on your keypad, that's going to let me know that you're with us. And then I'm going to request to unmute your phone. And then you're going to see the little blue button, ask to unmute, and then it's going to say the host is trying to unmute you. And then we'll get you into the phone here with us and put you on the line with Dr. Dean, because I think what happened, Carolyn, welcome, 513. Who am I talking with?
Hi, Ginny, this is Emily. How are you?
Emily, okay, awesome. So we've got Emily with us, 407. Area code 407. Okay.
Hi.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. So we've got 402 is Emily, and 513 is Emily. 402. That's Sarah. Let me see, Sarah, if I can get your phone to unmute. You've got to get the little blue button. Okay, still working on that. Okay, very good. Sarah and Emily. Well, it's so perfect, Sarah and Emily, because I wanted you guys to start with us this evening first. And because one of the great things about Carolyn's book, and let me just introduce you as people who've been with our Total Body Reset for a while, or our customers. You've been great to help us out with our Instagram. And one of the things that I really love about you guys and how you've worked with us is not only are you great fans of Dr. Dean's, but you're in a perfect time in your life to be able to prevent later in life chronic conditions by getting magnesium and our minerals and stuff in your bodies now. Emily, give us a little bit of background about you and how you came to find us, and also what you noticed about the book, and just some of your general impressions.
Yeah, so about a year ago, maybe a little more, I was going through a total body meltdown postpartum. About 6 months postpartum, I got slammed with all the things, all your typical classical magnesium deficiency symptoms, and then some, including poor gut health symptoms. Excuse me. Not only that, but my baby was experiencing a lot of similar symptoms, which I found mysterious, and I didn't come to understand until I found Dr. Dean and all of your formulas that he was probably also dealing with similar gut health issues as well as significant magnesium deficiency. So very quickly, I ordered a copy of the book. Can you hear me?
There we go. Go ahead, sweetheart. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So I read the book almost overnight and started taking the formulas right away. I started initially with just Remag and Remite, and within several months, I was already feeling better. And a year later now, both my son and I are taking the formulas, and we're both completely different people. We're also both taking soil-based probiotic, and we've been working on some detox, the two of us. And so I just wanted to thank you on behalf of our entire family. My husband takes the formulas too, but he wasn't going through a total body meltdown like my son and I were. So
now, Emily, this is Carolyn. Hi, thank you so much for coming on. When you say you read the book, which book was that, Emily?
The Magnesium Miracle, and I downloaded the ebook, a couple of the different ebooks, Reset the Yeast Connection, invisible minerals, and then there was something about total body meltdowns at the time. I also read your blurb on the salt fix and started adding sea salt to my water to help increase absorption, and everything you suggested I did. And I talked to you several times. It's been a long time now, and you talked to a lot of people, so I'm sure you don't remember, but I talked to you several times in the midst of my total body meltdown when I was severely underweight and malnourished and dealing with candida overgrowth and bedridden and unable to take care of my son. And at the time, my mother had to move in with us to take care of my son because I was so sick, and I've made quite a miraculous recovery. So thank you to you and your entire team on behalf of my whole family, because we are brand new people, and we'll all live longer, healthier lives thanks to your formulas. And I'm pregnant now, by the way. I'm 14 weeks pregnant, which a year ago we had tested my hormones, and they were a disaster. I was severely estrogen dominant, and my progesterone was tanked, and I never thought I would be able to get pregnant again. And now my hormones are healed, and I'm 14 weeks pregnant. Also, something you had mentioned was how allopathic doctors will kind of write you off and give you these quote unquote sentences, right? Like, this is what you have, and this is how it is, and this is just what you're going to have to deal with. There's no cure for this. And I'm not old yet, but I can tell you that I was diagnosed with narcolepsy, and they told me there was no cure for that. They said narcolepsy is an autoimmune condition for which there's no cure. And thanks to magnesium, I sleep like a rock now, and I don't have narcolepsy. So so yeah,
Wow.
So thank you so much.
Well, Emily, it's interesting because what you've described here allows me to say, what I learned in medical school. So, for example, when you had your hormones tested back then, and they were in the tank, well, doctors don't know what to do with that information. With a young patient who's, you said, estrogen dominant, I mean, what are they going to do? They have no tools. And if you wanted to get pregnant, see, you were at the stage where everything was out of whack. The body wants to heal itself before it gets pregnant again. So it's going to make you infertile with the hormones being the way they were. And the only thing that doctors do is these incredible fertility treatments where they give synthetic hormones, the IVF hormones, and introduce sperm. I don't know what they do. I mean, it's just so incredible that, we're in the matrix when they're manipulating our natural hormones with synthetic hormones, and they're doing this in vitro fertilization and expecting things to turn out okay. And we get problems down the line. I did write about that in the book. I'll talk about that a bit in the webinar. But see, that those were your options. If you and your husband wanted to have more children the way you were, then you would have had to take fertility treatments. And instead, you just got your cells to be happy and healthy without even thinking that you were working on your hormones, right?
That's just it. I didn't do anything explicitly to my hormones. They just fixed themselves once I gave my body the vitamins and minerals and rest that it needed. And that's thanks to you and your book and helping me understand what it meant to actually take care of my body at a cellular level and fixing root cause rather than band-aiding problems. And so I'm just really appreciative for that.
That's awesome. Ginny, what do you have to say to our dear friend here, besides how much you love her?
Well, I do love Emily, but Emily, I ask every single person women the same question, especially women who've had children. I didn't have any children. But I think that when you find out you're pregnant, you're just so hype on doing everything you can for your body and your baby. And I like to know, what do you think we can do as a company to make a better connection with women who are pregnant or pre-pregnant women, to really let them know how to care for their bodies while they're pregnant?
I think, to be honest, I'm doing a lot of the same things for my body now that I'm pregnant as I was when I wasn't pregnant. And so I don't know that there's a huge difference. I mean, I think that your marketing might be a little different if you're really wanting to connect more with pregnant women. But in terms of the advice that you're giving them, the only difference for me is I've started to take the calcium, the ionic calcium. I hadn't been taking that for quite some time because I knew I was severely magnesium deficient, and I wanted to restore my depleted magnesium without calcium interfering with that. Now that I've been doing that for a year, I've included both the calcium and the potassium now since I'm pregnant. So other than just ramping up some other minerals and taking more things like choline, which is in eggs, I'm really doing mostly the same things. So I don't know that I have a specific answer to that.
Okay, good to know. No, that's great to know. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, because that does go back to just supporting things at the cellular level. If your cells are happy, yes, your hormones are happy, and then it's the hormones that allow you to get pregnant, because the body is not going to allow you to get pregnant if it's not healthy enough to support a pregnancy. It's smart. We have genius bodies. And, we just think in allopathic medicine that we can manipulate them, but that didn't turn out so good.
It never does.
Yeah, very, very good.
Rarely.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Also, I think tonight we have Sarah. Are you on the line with us?
Hello?
Yes, she is. Okay. Hello,
Yes.
Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sharon. How are you?
Oh, hey, Sharon. I'm sorry. How are you?
Oh, no, that's fine. I'm good, thank you. Glad to be here tonight.
Yes, thank you. And also, do we have Sarah, though, here as well?
Yes, hello.
Okay, Sarah. All right, very good. Because I know you wanted to come on and contribute early because you have 5 children at home, Carolyn.
Good for you. Thank you for bearing my children, because I just didn't have the time or the energy.
No.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, tell us about yourself.
So I don't know, trying to gather my thoughts here on where to start, but I actually became aware of Dr. Dean and her formulas a couple years ago when I started experiencing some symptoms of, I think it was related to what ended up being diagnosed as a heart arrhythmia. I had some, what I call air hunger. Just felt like I could never get, I'd always want to take a deep breath all the time. And so my friend actually introduced me to the Magnesium Miracle book. And like Emily said, I read it, I think, probably within a week. It wasn't overnight for me, but within a week. And I was just blown away at how much magnesium is needed for different enzyme systems in our body. And I was just certain that ReMag could help me. And so it was about 1.5 years ago I started on ReMag. And it has truly helped me with my air hunger symptoms that I mentioned earlier. And I haven't been in to have my family doctor listen to my heart yet, but so it has actually just been a huge blessing for me, because I was feeling so run down and worried about my condition that I couldn't, care for my kiddos the way I should have. But I'm doing much better now. Like I said, I have more energy. I'm even a calmer mother because of it too.
Right. I'm just looking up air hunger here, Sarah, because we haven't, I don't think I talk about it much, but, you know, they medically, they just sort of compare it or associate it with shortness of breath and fatigue, but it's really not that. It's like there's a pressure, inability to take a deep breath, and just on the verge of panic. Does that kind of describe it?
A little bit, yeah.
Tell us, yeah.
I didn't really feel panicky, but there was definitely kind of like a pressure, you know, in the diaphragm area.
Right. Yeah, because
but I think it was, go ahead.
No, I want you to finish because you're explaining exactly what's going on, and then I'll say why. But you continue, Sarah.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit related to stress too, although I didn't really feel panicky is all I was going to add to that.
Right. Yeah, I think the panic comes afterward. It's like when you start not being able to take that deep breath, and you described it, Sarah, when you talked about your diaphragms, because I think what happens is the diaphragms can go into a bit of a spasm. They flatten out, they get tight, and that is from magnesium deficiency. So when the diaphragms are flat and then, you know, they're not pushing up and down like bellows, because when you do yoga breathing, when you're lying down, you know, your chest is supposed to go up and down, your stomach goes up and down. Well, the diaphragm kind of stops a deep breath from happening, and it can be just plain old magnesium deficiency. And then people can panic. You didn't panic. I mean, a mother of 5, you know that you just don't have time to panic. You learn
That's
not
right.
to panic, right? But yes, that's interesting. I'll have to talk or, you know, write a little bit more about air hunger, because that is definitely a symptom out there. Thank you. So what else? Are you just taking the Remag?
I've been taking Remac for about 1.5 years and Remite for maybe 6 months. And then once Flora Revive came out, I jumped on that because I got a stool test done which indicated that I had an overgrowth of microscopic yeast. And so I was like, I definitely need Flora Revive. And so I've been taking that since it came out. And then I just ordered your vitamin D3 K2, and I've been on and off on the Realign as well, which I feel has increased my energy, skyrocketed. So
nice. Yes, what's interesting is with 5 pregnancies, even with 1 pregnancy, it put the strain on the thyroid. And Remite, that's the multiple mineral, and 9 of the 12 minerals support thyroid hormone production. So the Remite is going to be really useful for you. I don't know if you noticed anything from it. I know when I first started it way in the beginning, I got off 60 milligrams of Armour Thyroid within 6 weeks by taking the Remite.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really important for you to keep with the Remite because of what it's almost, I guess it's like a drain. Your body gets drained supporting all your little infants there. You know, during the pregnancy in the womb, they have to build their thyroids, and your thyroid hormones support that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it kind of blows me away. I always joke, I'm like, how come I'm having all these, you know, quote unquote health issues and my husband is just fine? I'm like, it's probably because I've had 5 children and my body's gone through a lot.
They've each taken a little piece out of you, but you're putting it all back together. That's right. It. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, very good, Sarah. Anything else for Sarah, Ginny? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, this is Sarah. I was just going to add too, I was reading through the ebook that was sent for the Total Body Reset for Women, and I'm excited to read more about, I think there was a section in there about PCOS, which I told I had years ago when I was first pregnant with my first daughter. So,
wow. Well,
yeah.
you've proved you did not have PCOS by having 5 children.
I know.
Really? It's like, how can I disprove this diagnosis? Oh, okay, I'll have 5 children. Because the whole thing about PCOS is the eggs kind of don't do much. They build up in the ovaries. They don't go through their cycling. But yeah, you don't have PCOS.
Awesome.
Yeah, very good.
And Sarah, as long as we've got Dr. Dean on the phone one-on-one with you, do you have any health concerns or issues that you did want to talk about real quick? And anything you want to share with our audience, women from all over the world who are going to listen to this and through their pregnancies and through their whole life experience, what would you like to share with other women?
Oh, goodness. I would just say, like, listen to your body. And if you're seeing your OBGYN and they're just chalking it up, maybe an issue you're having as nothing, which I have been told numerous times as well, just seek out more information or maybe a different provider to help you. Like I found Dr. Carolyn Dean, which I'm so thankful to you, Dr. Carolyn. Because if it weren't for you, I would be on a very, very, in a very bad place with my health right now. And
well,
yeah,
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on the show and using the formulas and being true to yourself, because as you say, listen to yourself. And when people do take the formulas, like usually most people start with the Remag, you feel better and you say, oh, okay, I can feel better. And you just don't quit feeling better. That's wonderful. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sarah, for calling and joining us. I really appreciate you taking time away from your children, your family. That's wonderful. And I want to also just come back to Emily real quick. Emily, you had a question on the chat line. Am I back to you, Emily? Let's find Emily and see if I can get her back here. Emily, did I get you back, Emily?
Hi. Yeah, I actually did not have a question. I just thought that was what I had to do in order to be able to speak. So I was pushing all the combinations of buttons to make sure you knew I was there.
No problem. This is Emily, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, Emily, a question for you on the chat line was, you mentioned you were taking a soil-based probiotic, and one of our listeners typed in and wanted to know which one were you using?
I myself take one called Megaspore Biotic. It's made by Microbiome Labs, although from what I understand, your soil-based probiotic is also amazing. And so my husband alternates between the two. Does your soil-based probiotic have inulin in it?
Yes.
That's for me, that is the one reason I can't take it. I have a weird inulin sensitivity. My gut health has improved significantly since starting all the formulas, and I have no sensitivities anymore except for inulin. For some reason, it gives me terrible gas. So, but my husband tolerates it quite nicely and says he takes the best poops in his life since starting it. So he would thank you for that.
That's awesome. Yes, no problem. No problem. No, we do have a couple customers who are inulin sensitive, and I think Diana is one of them. She's one of our great regular listeners, so she'll appreciate knowing that there's another one out there that's high quality that she could rely on.
Me too. I had never heard of anyone else with an inulin sensitivity, so inulin sensitivity sisters for life.
Sisters for life. That's right. Although hopefully you'll build your tolerance and it'll go away. Yes, but the sensitivity corner of the planet is right here with Dr. Carolyn Dean, because we have
Yes,
to navigate through so many things like that.
it's true. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Emily, what would you like to share with women before I let you go? And I know you've got small children too, and your family at home. What would you like to share with women who are listening to this broadcast and rebroadcast? And any final questions for Dr. Dean?
Yes. What I would like to tell women is don't be afraid to start the formulas. They will help you feel better. Be patient, be consistent, trust the process, and don't fear swells in symptoms. Healing is never a straight line.
Oh.
So along my healing journey, even throughout the whole time I was taking the formulas, you know, there were days I didn't feel great, and there were some days when I felt better. And what starts to happen eventually as you're recovering from your total body meltdown is you start to look back and notice that you're having more good days than bad days, and your bad days become less bad and your good days become increasingly good. And so trust the process, trust the universe or God or whoever your higher power is who led you to Dr. Dean and the formulas, and be patient and consistent. You'll get there.
Wonderful.
Very good.
Yeah.
Gosh. Emily, sounds like you need a job in customer service, even though we don't have any openings right now. But
Well, hey, you just give me a holler.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Emily.
so much. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Excellent.
Yeah, blessings.
Blessings.
Likewise.
Okay, Carolyn, so exciting. We've had such great contribution already on the show today, and we think we've got our technical questions sorted out. So let me just let our listeners know that we're going to continue with our panel. We're going to take phone calls in the next hour for Dr. Dean. You can read the blog and learn about the book at drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's drcarolyndeanlive.com. You can read about everything there. And what else do we want to say before we bring on one of our next guests? Carolyn, what's your impression so far?
It's pretty awesome. And it seems that we're reaching out to the younger age group. Our demographics tend to be my age group, you know, way post-menopause, and people trying to recover from decades of health issues and medications. But we really want to reach out to more younger people so that they can avoid all those decades of ill health. So I really appreciate having these wonderful women on the show, and we will market to younger people. We can do that. We can play with what we call the tech body, and what do we do? Market to a whole younger age group, and use some of these words even, because it is priceless information. And when you I think in the webinar, no, it's more in the book, I talk about pregnancy supplements. In the sort of generic pregnancy supplements, they do not even have a separate magnesium on offer. And if magnesium is in their pregnancy multiple, it's usually magnesium oxide, about 100 milligrams, of which only 4% is absorbed. So they really they're not helping people at all. And it looks like we're helping more people, and we'll try to do better.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. 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 Okay. Excellent. Wonderful. Let's go on tonight, and as we're moving through. And Carolyn, tell us a little bit about the cycle, the life cycle that you wrote about in the book, because I think we went from conception to all the way to transition, right? I mean, you hit every area.
Right. Yes, it's birth, puberty. So the child is born, goes through puberty, and then conception, and gets pregnant, childbirth and breastfeeding, I think, is a cycle as well. And raising children. I mean, look at 5 children there. And then perimenopause, which is, in my mind, total body meltdown. When you have an early menopause, it's because your body is melting. And then menopause. So all these transition and transforming periods that make us women. I mean, there's no way. Yes, we won't get into anything about genders, but these transitions do transform us, and unfortunately they've been medicalized, and that's what we have to pull away from. Okay, so that's that, and let's hear from Sharon before the top of the hour.
Okay, very good. So we've got Sharon with us. Sharon, are you there? And I had to unmute you again, love.
Yes, hi, this is Sharon.
I got you.
Okay.
Hey, Sharon.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Jenny. Thank you for having me on tonight. I appreciate that. I'm on the older side. Maybe not, I mean, I'm not as young as the other two that we're on, but 53, almost 54.
Well, you sound much younger. You really do sound much younger. So that's good.
That's because I'm on some really good products.
Oh, okay. Tell us about them.
Well, I went into menopause at 50, and I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism 23 years ago. And I never wanted to get on anything. Actually, I did try some Synthroid many years ago, like 15 years ago, but it just did not go well with my body. It kept me like awake for like 2 weeks. So I refused, just flatly refused. And I mean, I felt terrible. I was always fatigued. Skin was dry, nails were brittle, hair was kind of coming out. But I just didn't want to get on those things. And so the highest my numbers went was 19.2. I know you're going to cringe at that. Yeah. 19.2, and they were pretty much, telling me I need to get on something. Actually, the doctor that I was seeing at the time for the hypothyroidism just said they won't see me anymore because I flatly refused to get on anything.
Yeah.
So then I was just out on my own, and I said, okay, I've got to do some research. I need to find somebody. I tried to find a natural doctor, just in my area, there's not many. So I came across you, and my numbers, after being on Remag and Remite, for probably, I think it was 6 or 8 months that I was on those, I went and got another test from my primary care, and it came down to 5.4.
Oh, wow.
And that was like over a year ago, because I have not been back from my family. So that's been over a year ago, and I feel amazing. I mean, I sleep like a baby. I don't feel like I have any of the symptoms. My nails are growing. Hair is fine. I'm not fatigued. I take all of your products. I take every single one except the Rebob.
Right.
Sorry, Bob.
Sorry, Bob. He's waving. Okay. That's wonderful. So maybe Pico Potassium was the latest one. Did you notice anything when you started that one?
Well, I started taking potassium as soon as it came out because I was also dealing with calf cramps and feet cramps. And I've talked to you before on the radio show about that. I was the one that would go into a magnesium pod, those float pods.
Yes.
And I started doing that, and it started making me feel better before I found you. But then I don't know, somehow you landed in my lap, thank God. And I still go to the pods just because I enjoy them. But all of my calf cramps and feet cramps have gone away from being on all the products, including I've been on the potassium lately, the zinc, the C, and I especially like the Flora Revive the best. It really does good things for my bowels. But you know, as far as like what I did deal with though is fibrocystic breast disease.
Right.
And that seemed to kind of linger a little bit longer than I felt like the thyroid, but they were pretty thick knots, and they are now gone. Like they just disappeared.
Wow.
And my husband, get graphic, but you know, those aren't there anymore. It's like soft.
He noticed. Yes, he noticed. Well, what's interesting about fibrocystic breast, there was a doctor up in Ontario when I was in practice up there who was renowned for using high-dose iodine for fibrocystic breast. And I was intrigued by that, and I followed his work, and yes, it was wonderful. But I didn't like high-dose iodine. So I think what's happening with the Remite, because it does have iodine in the picometer size stabilized ions, even though it's just the RDA, it's still going to be absorbed really well into the cells, and just gradually whatever iodine does to help chew up those cysts, which is what's happening. Iodine creates a peroxidase reaction in the white blood cells that helps it helps the immune system. Actually, we don't talk about iodine enough when we talk about supporting the immune system, but that's awesome to hear about your fibrocystic breasts. And it's another reason for people to be taking Remite, to gradually deal with these things. I mean, as soon as medicine gets involved, they just say, oh, let's give a high dose. Let's just blast it. It's what they did with the vitamin D, finding out that people are low in vitamin D blood levels. Oh, well, let's give 50,000 units. And then that just throws your magnesium off, because you need extra magnesium to metabolize vitamin D. So we just try to stay in balance and not get too carried away with allopathic treatments. We're not treating disease with our formulas. We are supporting the structure and function of the cells, and then the genius body takes over and uses these nutrients where they're needed. It's same with Realign, the detoxifier. It's not going in and flushing things out. It's giving you the nutrients that support liver detoxification and help produce your own glutathione. And Flora Revive, yeah, I'm glad you love it. It's named after me, Sharon. One of my middle names is Flora. So
yeah, you were out for like a month or a month and a half, and I really felt it.
Yeah,
I was asking all the time, you know, when you guys getting that back? So I've learned now to do without.
Well, I mean, it is a probiotic and a prebiotic, but I think the real clincher is having the natural Saccharomyces. It's a type of yeast. It's a natural antifungal, and we just have an overgrowth of yeast. I gave up on just trying to starve the yeast and detoxify it every day and treat it, periodically with antifungals. For me, I just want to have a little bit of a daily antifungal so that I can live a normal life. I think that's what it allows us to do.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted to ask you about dermoids. I know I was reading a book about fibroids, and I know they're similar. So I had a dermoid removed prior to being diagnosed with my hypothyroidism 23 years ago. And it was smothering my ovary. So they tried to save my ovary, but they couldn't. And this dermoid had hair, had nails, skin, eyeballs. It was really scary. But of course, most of them are benign. So that's when I started, 23 years ago is when I started down, I think, the slippery slope. And I'm not sure if it was due to that dermoid, because here's the more ironic thing is I have a 30-year-old daughter, and I was 30 when I had my dermoid taken out with my left ovary. My daughter just, probably 3 weeks ago, she was down in the Keys, just got down there on her first day. They were about to go lobster diving, and she just started in like this severe pain. They ended up in the hospital down there, and they did ultrasound and sonogram. They ended up telling her that she had a mass. So they ended up coming back home to Orlando, and she saw her gynecologist and another sonogram, and it was a dermoid, just like I had.
Right,
and it was the left side. I mean, it was exactly the same age, the same side, and they had to take her ovary out.
Wow. Well, for a historical story like that, Sharon, I would say to just for your daughter, if she's open to it, to talk to our total biology consultant, Dr. David Holt, because what the dermoid represents is trying to grow something to solve some sort of problem. So you were trying to solve a problem when you had yours, the problem didn't get solved, so then the next generation has to take on the problem.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it sounds. Go ahead.
Julie has told me about Dr. Holt, and I plan on getting to him. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I just want to get that Total Body Reset, ebook to get to my daughter so she can read it, because she needs to get on these products so bad.
Right, of course.
Emily and her being postpartum and all that, I have a feeling that my daughter is going to be getting there soon, and I just want her body to be in perfect condition, going into pregnancy.
Right.
So,
right. Well, and perhaps Sharon, get her to listen to the show, because what we heard from our girls, Emily and Sarah, can be very helpful to let her know what nutrients to take when you want to get pregnant. Here, you heard what Emily said when Ginny asked her, well, what more can we do for preparing for pregnancy? She said, well, no, I'm doing it all anyway. You just do our formulas to support your cells.
Yeah, I'm gonna send her the. You guys usually send the recording out on email, so I will be sending her that for sure, because she's got some similar yeast. I'm sure candida stuff going on in her gut, and I just after having this dermoid, I feel like she really she sees how it's helped me with my hypothyroidism and my the breast. So I think she's on board. She just needs to read and hear this call. So you're right. But my most favorite, that I must tell you, is the RNA drops. Oh my gosh, that is like a miracle in a bottle.
Tell us more.
I take it first thing in the morning because I deal with a lot of anxiety due to a home invasion that I had. So, so I do a lot of triggering, just little things that trigger me. So in the morning, I take it first thing, and it's like a whole nother world. I can't explain it. I try to explain to Julie, but it's like, I just I don't know, I just light up.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, they are pretty special. They do revive the life force, and
Yeah.
I say that because of the radish experiment, where our radishes grew like monsters because they were in an alive environment, and that's what you create with the RNA drops. So that's awesome. Very good.
The cells are perfect, is what you're saying, because
Yeah.
it does help the cellular level. So I feel confident that, you know, when I'm taking it, that I'm really repairing a lot of things, you know,
right.
as you're aging.
Right, and Dr. Holt will help you with the home invasion as well.
Yeah.
Because different people have different stresses. You know, mine is several near drownings, and you know, I was afraid of the water until I found out through total biology and talking to my auntie in Scotland that I had several young male relatives who'd drowned when they went out to work, when they went across the bay in a dory to pick up a doctor for home birth. So I always lived with this ancestral fear of the water, of drowning. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, yeah. So it wasn't that you knew about it, but for some reason it was you just felt that fear. So that's like with me with the home invasion, I get triggered when the doorbell rings because they ring the doorbell before they kicked in the door. So little things trigger me, even though it's been 10 years. 10 years it's been.
Right.
I mean, even through this pandemic, you know, and everything, I must say I was not a good sleeper. And this is to all the women out there, because I have a lot of friends who complain constantly. I don't sleep. I have insomnia. You know, they get 2-3 hours of sleep at night. I'm like, you need to get on Remag. Magnesium would help you sleep, because I was never a sleeper either. Never. And especially through this whole thing we're going through, I would never be sleeping. And my husband will even tell you, I sleep like a baby now.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's very healing. I mean, if you have insomnia, that can be so draining. And I think Emily was talking about how she had to rest. You know, how I write about lying down therapy. You just have to give yourself time. Of course, Sarah with her 5 children, I don't know how she she does keep up because she's on our products. But yeah, sleep is the number one result of magnesium deficiency, and magnesium, especially Remag, is the number one treatment for insomnia. I can't imagine what people are doing now, because they're being given sleeping pills, which become addictive after 2 weeks. And so
yeah, I was on Xanax for many years after the home invasion, which I hated because it changed my whole personality to being mean and nasty. And now I just take the RNA drops. It's great. Yeah. And everything. Restructure. I take a smoothie in the morning with your Restructure. My husband and I both love that. Only Rebob I don't take. So.
Well, Rebob is, no, it's okay, Sharon. Rebob is just a bigger bottle of RNA drops. That's all.
Oh, I thought it had fish oil or something like that, or your cod oil?
Not yet. No, no, Rebob. I mean, we just thought we doubled the dose, or it might be even more, and it's less expensive. So yeah, start getting Rebob, for Pete's sakes.
Oh man, we'll get it. One more to go.
Well, when you're finished this bottle of RNA Reset, just get your next one will be Rebob. It'll last a lot longer.
Didn't know that. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm for life, because I tell my husband all the time, I will never go a day without Remag and Remite especially, I'll tell them if I'm ever in the hospital, you have to bring that in to me.
Yeah, just put it in a water bottle. You don't have to declare it. And if they won't let you do that, just bring in a hand cream bottle, empty one from the drugstore, put in the Remag lotion, and just keep slathering that all over. Okay.
I use that. Yep, I use that at night too. One question I do have about the Himalayan salt. So you talk about colorful Himalayan salt. I can't find that anywhere.
Right. Well, on Amazon, you'll find pink Himalayan salt. It'll just say it right out. That's
what I use. But I thought, is there like different colors of Himalayan salt, like blue and?
No, I don't. There are different colored salts. Like here in Hawaii, our salt is more copper colored, and there are different colors. But no, the Himalayan is mainly pink. So I'm sorry if you got another misimpression. We'll have to up our marketing, Ginny, to tell people what the Rhubarb drops really are and what salt people can get.
Yes, absolutely. We can do that.
Yeah. I don't know where we are in timing because we started late, Ginny, so you'll have to guide us.
Well, I was asking Rachel, our producer, if we're taking a break because we're going to have music, or if we're still in technical limbo, in which case we just keep talking. So I haven't gotten a clear word back from her. I texted her about it. I think she's sorting it out. So I'm keeping talking. But, oh, wait, she just texted me back. Take a break. All right. So, Sharon, you've been a delight and a joy. Would you mind staying on the line in case anybody of our audience has questions for you? And then we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with Julie, with Lisa, and also with Sandy's going to be joining us right after this break.
We'll be back with Hour 2 of the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with host Ginny Sanders, right after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com. That's drcarolyndean.com.
Did you know there are 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency? Magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis growing in scope and proportion. Dr. Carolyn Dean, author of the Magnesium Miracle, has identified over 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency, 100 factors that lead to magnesium deficiency, and 24 reasons why magnesium deficiency occurs. Order the Magnesium Miracle today at Amazon.com and learn how to remedy this pervasive condition.
Do you have questions about your health? Are you wondering about alternatives? Do you ever wish you could have 5 minutes with a doctor you can trust? Someone who is an internationally recognized authority in the field of natural medicine? Meet award-winning doctor, naturopath, and best-selling author of The Magnesium Miracle, Carolyn Dean, MD, ND. Hear a wealth of information designed to empower listeners and callers to discover how to improve health, vitality, and well-being through a variety of safe strategies and nutritional options. Dr. Carolyn Dean Live. Shows can be heard every Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern, with weekly live shows, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Natural health, vitality, and well-being. Yes, everyone wants it, but not everyone is sure how to achieve it. Dr. Carolyn Dean's Completement Formulas are more than just dietary supplements. They're whole foods and picometer minerals designed to complete your nutrition, not just supplement it. Experience the difference Dr. Dean's formulas make. Visit RnaReset.com to learn more. That's RnaReset.com.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. With more than 40 years at the forefront of holistic studies, Omega is known the world over as a trusted source for integrated approaches to personal growth and social change. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
We return now to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Junie Sanders. Phone lines are open during live broadcast.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Hour 2, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. We say uniting humankind with universal love, but I say uniting humankind with the very own magnificent, totally dynamic, and wonderfully compassionate, incredible Dr. Carolyn Dean, who is with us again in hour 2 and providing such great information as she always does, and this wonderful exchange with so many of our customers as we celebrate the launching of the Total Body Reset for Women, a particularly wonderful, unique journey to connect women back to nature and the unique rhythms of their body and their life so that they can really restore their health in a wonderful, natural way and experience the joy of their being in their bodies again. And I think you've heard from those in the first hour. If you're just joining us here in the second hour on our podcast, on our archive, on YouTube, wherever you're clicking in from, want to go back and listen to that first hour. Just beautiful, beautiful women sharing their story of health and recovering their health and now sustaining it very effortlessly and easily through Dr. Dean's incredible wisdom and, of course, her products. And we're going to have additional guests. We've got Sandy standing by. We've got Lisa and Jackie this hour as well. And Carolyn from our last hour, welcome back. And somebody asked, who is Dr. David Holt? And maybe you'd like to tell us.
Right, and is Sharon still holding on?
She is with us.
Did you have anything more to ask or say, Sharon?
Oh, hold on, let me take her off mute.
My name is Sharon, and there's another Sharon. I did have a question, though. That's why I had called tonight.
Ah, okay, very good, Sharon. Give me 1 second. I'm going to circle right back around to you. Let's get to our other Sharon. Sharon, did you have another question or anything else you wanted to add? Yeah, Sharon. Okay, we'll see if we can get back to her. Carolyn.
Yeah, Sharon, chat in if
there
you want
she
to
is.
come.
There she is.
I'm here. Yep.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you, Dr. Dean, for coming into my life. I don't know how I found you, but I thank God every day for you.
Aw.
God bless you.
Mm.
I will never, ever be without these products. And
You brought my wife back.
Oh, there's Mr.
Yeah.
Sharon. Hello.
Mr. Sharon.
Mr. Sharon.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so happy to oblige. It's nothing but pleasure to do the work we're doing, and we just appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much.
God bless you. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank you, sweetheart.
blessings.
God bless you too. I know Ginny was in ministry for years, and she'll be the first to tell you that there are more blessings in what she's doing now than when she worked in the inner city. Wouldn't you say so, Ginny?
Yes, I would say yes, that the incredible empowerment here is amazing. It really is. And Dr. Dean is very blessed, and we're glad you're blessed too. Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you, Mr. Sharon, for piping in the background. And that's so perfect. And Sharon, just hang in there, stand by in case questions do come up for you, if you don't mind, okay?
And Julie is wonderful. #1 customer support. She's been amazing, like an angel to me through all of this. So, yep, you've got a wonderful customer service.
Yeah,
Yes.
they have managed to clone me, which I thought might be a little difficult, but when Ginny took up the task, she got it done. It's amazing. I don't do anything. I do not have anything to do. I do.
Well, that's not true, as we know. But
make more products, yes.
yeah, that's right. Well, I'll tell you, Julie is amazing, and Megan and Melody Rose and Corinne and Doug, who's been with us forever, and Elisa and Lisa Wright, who runs our customer support team now. And I mean, we just have extraordinary people, and we have always been blessed to have them, and they are all special in their own wonderful way. And it's just so great when our customers recognize it, because they go the distance for our customers. So thank you, Sharon. Very, very precious of you to say that. Very precious.
And they're all on the products. That's one thing that shines through, so they know your experience because they've been through it. I think that's what sets us apart as well.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you. And let's go to my friend, Dr. Holt. I know David Holt personally. He's an extraordinary human being. He's a medical doctor. And what can I say about him? I mean, he takes chances. He lives his life as a total biology person. In order to finance his medical career, he decided he would go into the military, and he hated heights. So what did he do? He went into the Air Force so that he could confront jumping out of helicopters, etc. So he studied with the teacher, total biology teacher I studied with. I just did a few years, took copious notes, and I couldn't specialize in it. But Dr. Holt, he does a telephone consulting practice where he works mostly with total biology, but also his incredible intuition. So total biology is the conflict basis of disease, where some of us really appreciate the fact that when you have an irreconcilable conflict that's floating around in your head, or actually spinning around in your head, driving you literally crazy, oftentimes the brain will give you physical symptoms to kind of divert that energy, that attention from the brain. But the brain being brilliant, the body being brilliant, where it directs the conflict is into a body part that it hopes will heal the conflict. So with a a woman whose child is run over by a car, is in intensive care, may die. The mother, her breasts actually may enlarge in order to produce milk to nurture the child. It's a response to the conflict. And that increase in the milk ducts is supposed to, kind of biologically solve the problem by nurturing the child. But if it happens to be diagnosed by a medical doctor, they'll say, well, this is a growth, this could be cancer, it's all over. So the diversion of allopathic medicine into the body trying to solve its own problems can in fact cause more problems. I won't get into all the details, but it's irresolvable conflict. The creator or identifier of total biology, this doctor was in France. There was another doctor, Dr. Gerd Hammer, who discovered what he called German New Medicine, the same kind of conflict. And it was very personal for Dr. Hammer. His son was fatally shot, lingered for 3 months. This doctor couldn't save his son. Within 3 months of his son's death, Dr. Hammer developed testicular cancer. His wife developed ovarian cancer. He was a psychiatrist as well as a cancer doctor and oncologist, and he thought this is not a coincidence, and realized that he and his wife were trying to recreate their son by stimulating cells in their regenerative organs. And that kind of says it all. It's just an incredible way of looking at the awesomeness of the body and interpreting things in a different way than just having a symptom and suppressing it with a drug. So Dr. David Holt, he's at turnpointhealth.com. I think he's still at giving a free consultation to people who want to see if they can work with him before he sets up any sort of schedule. So he's just very awesome guy. And we all know him. Every one of us has talked to Dr. Holt.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. Thank you, Carolyn. Let's move on, press on with Sandy, who's called to join us this evening as well. And Sandy, I'm going to unmute your phone. You're going to see a little blue button there. Go ahead and take your phone off of mute, and then you can join us this evening. And Sandy was frantically typing in questions as much as she was prepared to share a little bit about her experience and her journey. So can you see it, Sandy? Area code 218, just hit that little, there you go. Hey, lady.
Hello.
Hi, Sandy, go ahead.
Hi. I wanted to just thank you because you literally changed our life. And it wasn't necessarily what I learned from my husband's journey has made my life and my health and my body. Like, I'm 20 years old and I'm 45 years old with 13 kids. It started with, we're dairy farmers, and so this will sound unusual, but I would, from when we got married, I would see that how cattle would come when they were deficient in minerals. And this was before I knew anything about you. I thought, wow, that's so interesting, and trying to search on my own to understand. And then when I was pregnant with my 11th child, my husband had a total body meltdown. We didn't even know what we were going to do. He could hardly walk. He'd stumble. His eyes were yellow. I just didn't know what we'd do. And then we happened to go to a homeopathic doctor that recommended Rna. And then from Rna,
we went to Hermione, and I began reading all of your books and reading or listening to radio programs and adding more of your products. And then when I became pregnant with my 12th child, I thought, why am I not taking this? I'm seeing such an amazing result from him. Why am I not doing this? And it has made me, I'm able to, I think I live a more active life at this stage in life with than I did with my older children.
Wow. Yes. Well, you sound very energetic. It sounds like you're running around on a track as you're talking.
I'm actually out taking the kids for a walk while we're talking.
There you go. That's wonderful. Yes, Sandy, I've heard about our 40-something with 13 children and just marvel, and thank you so much. And now thank you for bringing them up healthy.
Oh, that is the other thing. My kids, we all take your products. My kids, there's a few of them, they're like, oh, it tastes, they don't want the taste. But then they're little, so I put it into their smoothies. And my son, especially one of my sons who had a lot of health problems, he had a lot of pneumonias, and he was just sick a lot. And he took control of his own health and began taking all of his supplements too. And I've just seen such a difference in them. I'm just really grateful.
Yes.
Grateful. So I don't really have any amazing story about myself, but it's just changed. I just know it's changed my future with taking care of kids at an age where sometimes people are too tired to do it, or they're like, how do you do it? Well, with the right minerals, you can do it.
Yes, you can. Yes, it's just a matter of getting your cells lined up in a healthy way to do what God put the cells in there for. And who was it? Sharon talking about the RNA Reset Drops. They do help make your RNA focus on the DNA to be as perfect as possible. It gets your blueprint back. We all have a genetic blueprint in our cells, and it can get distorted if the cells aren't healthy enough. So that's why at the cellular level is so important, because that's where the DNA is reproduced. So, that says it all. Healthy cells mean healthy chromosomes and healthy genes and healthy proteins made from healthy genes. So it's pretty basic.
Yes. When you're trying to figure out, you made it easier to understand. You made it common sense where you could really apply it, because you definitely can't go to a doctor, and at least where I live, and say, oh, I want to do that. There's no help. They think you're crazy. They couldn't help my husband when we've had, what are we going to do? He's not going to be able to work anymore. He can't even function. And so when we just, I'm sorry, what?
I was going to ask, what did you figure out was going on with your husband when he was having his total body meltdown?
What's funny about that? We didn't really figure anything out. He did not want to go to we had been to the, allopathic doctors. They were no help at all. And he was just, didn't want to. So we found a homeopathic doctor who tested, and showed he was deficient in B vitamins, iron. His thyroid was low, but she didn't really give us a ton of help. It was more take thyroid. I don't know what that's called. I don't know what is it.
Armor.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Armor thyroid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So then he was incredibly uncomfortable with that, and so we just started. I just started reading your stuff, and then we'd read like the Magnesium Miracle, and I'd say, Mike, I think this is what's going on. I think it looks like you're having this problem, and when you talk about trauma, what really set everything off is our son had died. And then from then on, he just, and he had to deal with a lot of the situation, and it was so traumatic.
Oh yeah.
And since that point, he just fell apart. And I mean, when he was stumble and he couldn't walk, and his eyes were turning yellow, and I mean, one eye was drooping. He was a mess. And then slowly, and it was a slow journey, but not terribly slow. I mean, when he started consistently taking, you know, adding the Remidy, and then we'd just start adding your products. He responded fairly quickly where he could function again and be able to work on a farm.
Right.
And then now, oh, I'm sorry, what?
You know what I was thinking is on the farm, you brought up, he's going to be sweating a lot. He's going to be working long hours. He's going to be magnesium deficient. And then when you have a stressful trauma as one of your precious children dying, it's like he didn't have any reserve of his minerals. And then you just slump, you know, all your organs feel, you know, depleted, because the B vitamins and C are necessary for the adrenals and all the minerals in I think you called it Remidy. That's a perfect name for Remidy.
Oh,
you called it Remidy.
You know, that's funny. That's so funny. I always call it that. I think it's become my kids, we all call it Remidy.
That's sweet.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. And you started to say how he was now. Is he back totally, or still working on it?
I would say he is. I would say, well, because honestly, he was never this robust picture of health. I mean, his 20s and 30s. And so he always tells everybody, I'm 40, he's 46 now. And he said, I feel better than I did when I was a teenager.
Oh.
And so he can run with our kids. He couldn't do that before. I mean, he wasn't doing anything. It was just get through the day. Everybody helped Dad get the work done. So, because I wasn't working, I'm home with the kids.
Yeah.
And now he runs with them. He swims with them. He doesn't take naps anymore. He works all day and still can function. I mean, every once in a while he gets kind of tired, but it's usually after, like you said, a really stressful, hot, sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, it's like he's a completely different person that I thought, I don't know what disease you have.
Wow. That's amazing. And I just want to take one sentence you said and turn it around. You said, I wasn't working. Okay, Sandy, you work harder than probably anybody knows. So we understand.
That's so kind of you. Thank you. Sometimes you don't feel that way. I see everybody else. I'm like, I'm just home with the kids. But I love it. I think it's like...
Go ahead, sweetie.
Oh, it's such a joy, and I love being home with them and teaching them. We're homeschool too, so you're teaching them and teaching them how to take care of their bodies, and that's been, to me, like, I get so excited when I'm like, you guys, here's what I just read. Here's what I read in Dr. Dean's book, and I have kids because my older ones love to read, so I'll send them the book to read, and I mean, they're here in our house, but I mean, I'll send like your ebook.
Yeah.
I'll send it to one of their little devices, and they read it, and it just brings me so much joy, and I'm so grateful. I mean, I'm sad that my husband went through this horrible, you know, feeling the way he was, but so grateful that God used it to show us a product that I didn't know you had. I didn't know you had your books. That's how I discovered who you were and your products. And it's just changed everything. And you know what? It's changed things. What I have learned in your books and my husband has learned has changed how I know it's not weird, but how we run our dairy farm, how we soil test. We did soil tests and saw our soil has nothing in it. That's why I would tell my husband, our cows, there's something wrong with our cows. They're like humans who are having a meltdown. Something's not right. Do you think they're getting enough in the plants? Because we're not in our food. And so when we had everything tested, we found, no, our soils are pretty depleted in everything.
Wow.
So we started doing different things for our cattle. So it's like, I know it sounds weird that you've helped you, but you've helped cattle too.
Wow. Well, you know, when we sort of slow down a tiny bit, we have to get back to our mighty mash, because that's the from the RNA drops, it's the barley sprouts that we dry up, and then we use that as a fertilizer. I don't know. Yeah, we did the radish experiment with that, but that's going to be awesome for people who are farming, to put that life force into the soil. So yeah, you'll hear about that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited because we actually we had switched nutritionalists to find one who was for our cows, not us, for our cattle, who is more in line with our thinking, because you know what we've learned, and he has the same thinking. And so we sent that to him about the radish experiment because it's so interesting, it's fascinating, and it makes so much sense.
Oh yeah, it's common sense. Well, this is awesome, Sandy. I've heard a lot about you, and I'm so happy to talk with you. That's wonderful. Thank you for taking your time to speak with us. And I'll turn you over to Ginny to see if she has questions or anyone else has questions. But big hugs to you and your family.
Oh,
thank
you, Dr. Dean. It has been. I was so overjoyed when I was asked to be on your radio program to be able to talk to you and thank you. Just bless you. I am so grateful for you and Ginny and your whole team of what you all do for us.
Thank you so much, and God bless. And I'm so happy you're homeschooling those kids, because they're going to be awesome. They will be healthy, healthy in mind, body, and spirit, and they're going to do wonderful things in the world.
Oh, thank you. Your encouragement means so much. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you,
Ginny.
Sandy. Well, we don't have any questions right now, but stand by, and thank you so much for everything you've shared here today. I know it's touched a lot of people on the chat line and YouTubes. They're excited and absolutely overwhelmed that you can run a farm, homeschool your children, have so many children, and be on a radio show. They're just, and take your kids for a walk all at the same time. You are
it's my reminding.
You're our kind of woman, Sandy. Thank you. Multitasking to the core. Thank you
Ginny,
so much.
Ginny, let me just say this. Actually, Sandy's got them on a nature walk. They're studying.
I do, actually.
Yes.
I do. They are on that. In fact, right now they had to stop because they're finding rocks that they're looking at.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, sweetheart. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I just love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, love. Thank you. Well, Carolyn, we're going to wrap up the show tonight with two of our most favorite people in the whole wide world. One of them is our very own Jackie, and the other one is Lisa. Lisa Wright, one of the biggest rock stars on the planet, who runs our customer service team. And Jackie, of course, who's our national sales, another rock star in her own right. And the whole reason that we're here, if I could get her to take her phone off of mute, Lisa, is there she goes. Lisa, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, yes. You know, Carolyn, the whole reason we're here is because Lisa, well, actually, no, let's say, we're here because of you, Carolyn. Then we're here because of Jackie, because Jackie wanted to do a special call for one of her accounts on women's health issues, and we loved it so much. Then you decided to write a book. Then Lisa read the book, and she's freaking out. She's like, "Oh my God, why didn't anybody tell me this?" So, Lisa, I'd like you to share your thoughts about that and what your experience was with this book.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was honored to be asked to read it and go through it. And I was just shocked because for me, I was 33 or 32 trying to get pregnant for the first time and had a lot of issues. And it took my husband and I around right at a year to get pregnant. And I was diagnosed with PCOS at the age of 18 and was put on birth control pills and was on those for 15 years before I got off of them to try to get pregnant. And the book really spoke to me because of all of that. And I did the fertility drugs of Clomid and finally did letrozole, and that actually worked. but I just wish that I would have known at a younger age about the minerals and how I could have really done things a lot more of a natural way versus having to go the medical route of what I did and it taking as long as it did. And I know that it wasn't the best thing for my body at the time either. Fortunately, my son is wonderful and no problems with him, but I did have gestational diabetes with my pregnancy, and I had a lot of low iron and just a lot of different things that happened with my first pregnancy that I think could have been definitely alleviated if had I known about Carolyn and all the wonderful minerals. So the book just really, really touched me in that way. And, you know, I tell my story to a lot of different women and, you know, try to give them a lot of courage to do their own research and really try to look at their whole body and, you know, take the time and don't always just listen to what your doctors have to say. Take control of your own health and look at the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. And so how old is your son now, Lisa?
He's 7.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then I got pregnant with my daughter, and so she's getting ready to turn 4. And but I didn't have as much trouble with her. I didn't have to take anything. It took us about 3 months to get pregnant with her, so it wasn't long at all. But I was on the verge of starting that medication again because my OBGYN, I was older, was 35, and she's like, you know, you're not getting any younger, and we don't want to waste another year. We know what worked the first time, so, you know, let's do it the second time, but let's give your body a couple months of rest before we start. So, and I didn't have to. I had the prescription. It was filled, and just so happened I got pregnant and didn't have to do any of it. So.
Yeah, your body took control there. You know, it's like, no, you don't need to do that. But
yes.
It's interesting too that we do hear that some oftentimes you'll have a first pregnancy with medications, but then the body learns how to be pregnant and says, oh, okay, I can do this. Let's go ahead. Because so you had the PCOS, and what that does is it's a bit of a hormone imbalance. There's not enough progesterone and different things are going on. But a lot of women don't get pregnant easily after having been on the birth control pill for years and years and years. And I can never find, you know, research or articles where they're even looking into that or doing even questionnaires like, did you have a long history of birth control pill, and then were you infertile? They don't even ask. But if your gynecologist is saying to you, or OBGYN, well, you've tried for 3 months, let's just go ahead and use drugs, then they're used to the fact that women are coming to them with infertility issues. And I've said that for decades because when we lived in New York, almost on every corner, there'd be one of these fertility clinics. You knew it was epidemic. And, you know, it's just, when your body is given the right building blocks, it'll do what it's supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Ginny, we have an interloper.
No, we're here. We're all good.
Someone said hello.
Yep.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Jackie, tell us a little about your situation. We kind of got started and then we had to stop and start and stop and start.
Oh, well, I just have to say, I can relate to all of these stories in so many ways. My total body meltdown story really started post-menopause, but it was decades in the making. And, you know, I was diagnosed with a bunch of autoimmune, osteoporosis, and, you know, I went to a lot of healthcare practitioners, Carolyn. No one knew but you that I needed minerals. And because I had had a lot of digestive issues, I got dysentery in Africa years ago, and I was really minerally depleted. I was so depleted that my body stopped working. I nearly died. People thought I was on my way out. My body, I had a well-meaning doctor, but very bad advice to follow the temperature protocol by Wilson. You know, Dr. Wilson's temperature protocol. Taking me up on T3, I became very hyperthyroid, stopped sleeping, and then I got a flu vaccine a few months later with some mercury in it. Didn't know I had mercury toxicity in my teeth that was impacting me. But within a few weeks, my whole body blew up. I just blew up into a balloon. I couldn't walk. My feet were so swollen. I had a severe rash all over my body. And my gut had been intermittently challenged, you know, most of my life. It just stopped working, and I started wasting away. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I had to stop working. I could no longer drive. You know, my body was on high alert. My heart was pounding. My ears were ringing. My head ached. I became sensitive to everything, light, sound, mold. And I even was EMF sensitive, which is very rare. It is real. And your book was my answer. But I kind of came to discovering it in a circuitous way. I actually had to live off grid for a while just to try and recover. And I was swimming and drinking and soaking in a mineral water spa-like environment. This was just from the earth, and it was starting to heal me. And it was just miraculous. And then I had the person I was renting from, he gave me the book, The Magnesium Miracle, and it answered everything. It was like, oh my gosh, this is why I'm feeling better with the minerals. And nobody had ever said that that would be the answer, and it was.
Wow.
I did some other things. I mean, I detoxed. I got the mercury out of my, you know, teeth, replaced 13 amalgams, 4 gold crowns, which was really, really a very good thing to do. I had no idea those mercury fillings were so problematic. And that, along with I had been eating a very, very strict diet for a very long time, but it was not the answer, not the complete answer. But the diet, along with the complement formulas, one product at a time, adding them in, it brought me back to life. I came back to Denver. I was able to sleep again, eat again. I gained weight. I mean, I'm not a big person. I never have been, but I came back to life with your formulas. And I'm very grateful. And I love being able to share my story because people can relate and they're just amazed. You know, my sister really thought I was going out, and she wanted to put me in the hospital at one point, put me on the glucose drip. And I didn't want to do that. But it was kind of that severe. So thank you. Thank you for the miracle that you are, the miracle of the books that you write, and, you know, the miracles of all of your products, especially the minerals.
And then how did you end up working with us, Jackie? How did that happen?
Well, it was very interesting because I was going through a difficult time, but taking the products, but, you know, doing much better from a physical perspective. And Julie called me because she was doing outreach for the complement bundle. And we got to talking, and I thought, and I was getting healthy, getting better. So I thought, gosh, you know, I'm ready to go back to work, and my background's media. I've managed a lot of media products that, you know, traditional media like magazines and newspapers and things like that, and that world has changed. So I was thinking, I'm ready to go back to work. What can I do? What can I sell? What can I market? I thought, the minerals. So I called Julie and I just said, hey, how did you get your job? And she said, well, I was a testimonial, and actually I think you guys might have reached out to her. So I reached out to Ginny. I sent an email to Ginny. And she called me up, and I started doing some work for trade, and then one thing led to another.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it's with Jackie helping Ginny there on our pro side, because I shied away from doing professional outreach and working with doctors because you know, I know how busy they are. They don't have time. They need to make money. They're the ones that are good spend time talking to patients. So they have to, they probably charge above insurance. So they have a limited audience. Most of them have to make money through products that they sell. So, you know, my products are priced for the public, not to be doubly priced so that doctors can make money. So I really salute these gals for going out and lassoing these doctors and telling them that, well, if you save a life, isn't that worth something? But anyway, there's much more to it. It is important to get the doctors on board because they influence thousands and thousands of people once they become involved. And we have certain communities that we're involved with that are using our products, and we're learning so much. What more do you want to say anything more about the pro side, Ginny or Jackie, or is that enough?
Jackie?
I think it's very, very encouraging, the receptivity from the doctors when they discover this product and they take it. And I've had some amazing stories where they're like, holy cow, this stuff is amazing. And they, not only is it helping them, but it's helping, you know, they're encouraged to help their patients with it. And I think they realize that, you know, once they get a product that complements their protocol, then they are going to do better. Everyone's going to do better, and it's going to support their practice in that way. Mm-hmm. And I hear every day I get to talk to wonderful practitioners, very enlightened, looking for alternatives to improve the health, not only of themselves and their family, but their patients. And I hear wonderful stories about people getting off the couch that couldn't walk, you know, people healing their hearts and their guts, and, you know, anxiety, and the list goes on. And these doctors are really amazed just at how quickly they're able to see results in so many cases.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Ginny?
Yes, I was trying to get Lisa, but I don't know. It might, there she is, Lisa.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell our audience who is listening now and forevermore, some of the things that you'd like to tell them as our customer service manager about how to take advantage of your amazing staff and all of our resources.
Yes, our team is just amazing. We try to be Dr. Dean's mini me's for sure. So yes, our team is amazing. Jenny listed all of them earlier, and they really are very well versed in all of our products, and can definitely help walk you through your journey to wellness. Julie has been mentioned several times, and she's our wonderful Total Body Reset concierge, and she reaches out to any customer who purchases our Total Body Reset reboot to help with your journey, to start it, and answer any questions and help guide you through that. And she's very, very wonderful. She's great at her job, and as well as all of our team is. So we are, you can always get us on the phones, via email, via chat. Corinne's working tonight and is chatting her little fanny off right now with customers. So we're always here to help you, help guide you, help support you, and through all of your journey. Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Well, I think Jackie, Julie, and Julie's not here. Lisa. Well, Julie's actually here. She's listening. Of course she is.
Of course she is.
Of course she is.
She's
and Melody
she's listening.
Yes, and Melody Rose and Doug's listening, and Doug and Melody Rose have been with us, for a long time too. We just have a great staff. We can't ever say enough about them. So listen, if you've been listening and you have questions, 888-577-3703 is the phone number. It's on every one of our products and on our website. You can email questions, questions, at Dr. Carolyn Dean Live, and you're going to get a hold of the delightful Melody Rose, who will answer questions, and then she'll also track down Dr. Dean if she needs additional support. You can use our radio show website, which is drcarolyndeanlive.com, and you can also visit our archive at Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, and Dr. Dean's radio shows are listed there, and you can go back, listen, reflect, recapture the information. We do have a YouTube channel as well at Dream Vision 7 where all the radio shows are archived. You can chat with us during the show. And then we've also, of course, got a chat line here. I think the one question that we've gone unanswered so far this evening is Maya asked, can taking too many iron supplements throw off the body?
Yes, but it depends on the age. I don't like iron supplements. They're very poorly absorbed. So a lot of it can go into storage, create real imbalances with your ferritin and transferrin and all that sort of thing. It gets kind of complicated. What we ask people to do is get in touch with our customer service support at rnareset.com and ask about a liquid iron. I don't think I'll be carrying a liquid iron, but we do recommend something that will be much better absorbed than pills. Pills can be constipating. Injections can be almost dangerous. They can cause abscesses in the flesh. Yeah, do I have an FAQ on iron and ceruloplasmin, transferrin, and all that, Ginny? If not, I should have one, because if we're dealing with younger people, they're going to be asking about iron, and older people, you don't need iron. Women don't really need iron except from the diet after they stop their menses, because that iron, you don't flush it out properly with your menses. So you're building it up. And just sidebar, I mean, maybe part of the health problems and women who are taking the birth control pill is because they're not menstruating, they're not detoxifying as they normally should be. So that I'll have to update the book already and put that in the next version of the Total Body Reset for Women. The menses is your way of detoxifying. And if you're not bleeding a certain amount monthly, you're not detoxifying. Isn't that a kicker, Ginny?
That is a kicker. Let me ask two questions, follow up. One is, what about people with anemia and digestive issues? And two, what if you're a vegetarian?
And iron, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Anemia and digestive issues, yeah, it's hard to take iron. The iron will irritate. To properly absorb iron from the diet, eat chicken livers. We'll get to the vegetarians. Chicken liver and our whole C reset, our whole C, vitamin C. You need vitamin C to help absorb iron. So that's very important.
Okay.
For vegetarians, that's where, I mean, diet, your spinach, but then, there's problems with phytic acid and absorption with minerals, certain vegetables. So that's where you get in touch with Support RNA Reset and ask for our FAQ on liquid iron.
Okay, excellent. If you have any more questions, hit up our staff questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com. This has been a great show. Sorry for the technical issues on the way in the beginning, but it's wrapped up beautifully. Jackie, Lisa, thank you very much for being with us for these last 2 hours, and everyone who's called in and contributed. It's been amazing. Carolyn, everybody loves you. What can I say? I mean, everybody loves you. That's all there is to it.
There's someone saying hello. I think we're wrapping up the show. Is this someone trying to get in to ask a question?
Nope. I think we're saying goodbye.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Next week we will be here with bells on.
Yes,
so
that's
thank
right.
you everybody, including my dear Bob and my best buddy Ginny and everybody who's involved with this show. Everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, everyone.
You've been listening to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show. For questions about today's broadcast, email Dr. Dean at questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
One another, heart to solve problems and co-create more meaningful life stories. Tune in to Nature's Loving Vibes every Monday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. here on the Dream Vision 7 Radio Network.